here is a pie my family just loves. And so I asked them, what kind of dessert do you want me to make? They'll say key lime pie. And so I like to take a little bit of extra steps here and there around the holiday season to make them something special. So here are my ingredients for this pie. You're welcome to jot them down. You can also print them out below the video or do a screen capture with your mobile device. If you plan on taking this to the grocery store, that'd be a real easy way to do it. So I showed you in an earlier video how to make the graham cracker crust. Now I do put a little bit of hazelnuts in there, which I think gives it a wonderful little surprise flavor to the crust, and it's just wonderful. So I'll leave a link to that video if you'd like to check it out. I'm going to use a springform pan for this pie. So we'll start by squeezing out some key lime juice, and I like to take these little steps around the holidays just to make it extra special. The key limes are very tart. I think it makes a difference than the bottled juice. However, it's not that much of a difference. So if you want to take a shortcut and buy the key lime juice that's at the store already bottled, go ahead and do that. And now I want to go ahead and start to prepare my filling. First, I'm going to prepare my bowl for my meringue by wiping it down with a little bit of the juice just to make sure it's free and clear of any kind of grease or film. And I like to make my meringues in a glass bowl. A metal bowl would be great too. However, I do not recommend using a plastic bowl because it's very hard to get a plastic bowl clean. So we're going to separate out our egg yolks and our egg whites. I will need 5 egg whites for my meringue topping, and I'm going to use 3 egg yolks for my filling. I'm doubling my recipe this year because last year I didn't get enough of a wow factor, I guess you could say, and I was using the springform pan, so I decided just to go ahead and double my recipe. So I'm using 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk here. Now this is a different bowl. This is not the one I just cleaned. I put that aside because I want my meringue egg whites to come to room temperature, and I'm simply adding all of my ingredients for my filling: my 3 egg yolks, the whole egg, the key lime juice, the coconut cream, the vanilla, and then some lime zest. Go ahead and add a teaspoon if you don't happen to have Kaffir lime leaves, if you're not shopping at your Asian market. But I'm going to put Kaffir lime leaves at the very end, so I'm not adding a lot of zest to this. And now we're going to mix it real well. We want to make sure we get it beat real well, and remember to stop and go ahead and keep your sides scraped down. Always want to scrape down your sides whenever you're mixing ingredients like this. And so there it is. It came together pretty nice. I guess I beat it about 3 minutes, and now I want to go ahead and smooth it out and make sure I get out all of the bubbles. Meanwhile, I was also baking my graham cracker crust, and I baked that for about 6 to 7 minutes, and now I'll just go ahead and fill it. My crust is still slightly warm. I know sometimes people like to let theirs cool first, and I just think that my pie filling adheres better to my crust when I don't let it cool too much first. So let's go ahead and bake it in the oven at 325 for 20 to 25 minutes. The center may still be a little bit soft, but it will set up at room temperature. I'll leave it out for about 2 hours. You don't want to pop it in the refrigerator to cool. That will make your filling kind of weak. So I'll go ahead and prepare my Kaffir lime leaves and some hazelnuts to put on at the very end. Now, after a couple of hours of its cooling, I'm going to go ahead and start my syrup for the meringue topping. We're going to do an Italian meringue topping. And so I'm just basically dissolving some sugar and water. And I want to bring this up to 240 degrees Fahrenheit. This will take about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm just checking the temperature as I go. And I turned off my heat once I reached 240 degrees Fahrenheit because I want to go ahead and start my egg whites. These have been sitting at room temperature. I actually had these covered with a lid, and I cleaned my beaters very well. You do not want any film left on your beaters from the filling that you made. So clean them real well, dry up underneath the little metal pieces there and everything. And after it's gotten kind of foamy there, I'll go ahead and put in my cream of tartar. I just want to work it through a strainer. and I'll continue to beat it. Now, I am putting a meringue topping on this key lime pie because I love that soft texture, but a lot of people, and if you've had key lime pie before, you probably have had it with whipped cream, and certainly you could skip this step and your pie will be wonderful. I really think the most important part is that graham cracker crust. So the egg whites are coming together pretty well, so I'm going to go ahead and check on my syrup because I had it off of heat. I had turned off the heat. I brought it back up to make sure it was at 240, and now I'm going to slowly stream it in to my egg whites. Okay, so we're not going to dump it all in at once, just a little drizzle here and there. Don't let it hit your beaters, just kind of pour it right into your eggs and just slowly whisk it around. Now this is going to take probably about another 5 to 7 minutes to get them to a nice glossy, stiff peak, and that's what we're looking for. And the reason why I'm doing an Italian meringue versus just the standard one is that the egg whites are going to be more stable adding this syrup in this way. Okay, so if you've ever done a meringue topping for a pie before, you may notice that it deflates on you, or it may start to weep once you put it in the refrigerator. In other words, it'll start to have little beads on the top, sugar beads. And so by putting a syrup in here like this, you will end up with a nice meringue that will be stable. Okay, so I've got some nice stiff peaks on here, and this is what you're looking for. And now we can top our pie. Now my pie is cool, it's not cold. So let's go ahead and pour this meringue topping right on the top. I like to have it high in the center, and then so I dump it all in the center, and then I'll just kind of smooth it out to the sides. And go ahead and make sure you smooth it all the way out to the crust and seal it good. Okay, don't leave any gaps there around the edges. And now we can just give it some little soft peaks because we're going to pop this in the oven, and we want to have those brown up just a little bit and make it nice and pretty. So I put it in my oven on low broil right in the center rack for about 5 minutes. I just kept my eye on it. Don't walk away, because once it starts to brown up, it'll brown really fast. And I probably could have taken this a little bit further, but I think this is beautiful just like this, just slightly golden there. And so let's go ahead and pop it out of this springform pan. And I just want to loosen it up just a little bit so I don't pull my meringue off. And there you go. So now, for those of you who are troubled by my uneven crust, of course you can always even out your crust before you put your pie filling in it, okay? Now let's put a little bit of the Kaffir lime leaves on top, along with some crushed hazelnuts that I also toasted. And there is our pie. It is wonderful. So let's go ahead and get a slice of this pie. I haven't chilled it at this point. It's just been at room temperature. And so at this point, I'm really not sure if how set up it is in the very center. But it turned out beautiful. I actually like it a little bit creamy. So it turned out great. So I want to go ahead and put a little bit more hazelnuts on the side. And we'll go ahead and take a bite right here on the end. Now I'm going to try to do this with my left hand, and I'm not very good at using my left hand, so it kind of fell apart on me a little bit. But at any rate, I'll go ahead and dig in and get a piece here. It is just wonderful. It's just so tart, and then this meringue and the crust are sweet, and it's just a perfect balance. I wanted to show you how it looks the next day. So about 12, maybe 14 hours later, I had it in the refrigerator, covered. And here's the meringue topping with the pie the next day. And now we'll just go in and we can get another slice here. The filling did set up a little bit more as it was chilled, so it came together real nice the next day. I did have a little bit of weeping from the filling, but I should have put parchment paper on there after I cut it. And then I just like to use the bottom of my salad spinner as a little pie cover. It works out great. So there you go. I hope you can give this pie a try, and I hope your family and friends enjoy it as much as we do. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a beautiful day.